I'm going to demo how to make a sawhorse or a sawbuck. They're incredibly useful to have around camp. They're great for processing fuel or other materials to build other projects. So if you're going to be in a camp for a while, I suggest making one because it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I already processed the material to help make the sawhorse. I have 8 separate logs, pretty close in diameter and all approximately the same length. The length of these logs is not only going to determine the length of your sawhorse, but it's also going to determine the height. I'm now selecting what's going to be the crossbars. All right. So now I'm left with 6 logs. 6 of these are going to turn into 3 different bipods or the legs of the horse. So instead of putting this thing together with notches, I'm just going to be using lashings. I'm going to be using number 36 bank line. So you begin just by putting shear lashings on your bipods. So once you determine the height of the sawhorse, that's going to determine where your lashes go. So to make a shear lashing on a bipod, you start with a clove hitch with a stop knot on one side. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the 2 legs together. And then you're going to do what's called frapping. Frapping goes around the wrap. So now I have my clove hitch on one of the beams. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to wrap both of these beams together. And I'm going to wrap them 5 times. So now I've done the wrap 5 times. I'm going to bring my cordage around one of the beams and I'm going to frap. So I like to do an equal amount of fraps per wrap. So I'm going to do 5 fraps. And then what you do is you put a clove hitch on the opposing beam from which you started. Okay? And it's a shear lashing. Okay, so now I have my 3 bipods, all with shear lashings. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the crossbars. Crossbars are an added support so the horse doesn't fall over once you put weight on it. So you're going to start by diagonal lashing every other beam, 1 beam from each bipod. To start a diagonal lashing, you start with a timber hitch. So you're going to start wrapping on a diagonal, and then you come around 1 beam and start doing a diagonal on the other side. Do an additional 3. 3 going one way, 3 going the other. I'm now going to do 3 fraps. And then you end with a clove hitch. Okay, so I've already lashed one side, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lashing the other. So I had to add 2 more crossbars, and I add them on a diagonal, and that kind of helps with it being a bit wobbly, but yeah, overall it works, and I'm happy. Ta-da!